the exact script I use to sign Airbnb management clients. We signed 20 plus Airbnb management clients in our first 6 months, generating over $2.5 million in bookings in 2023 alone. I'm Nathan, and my second ever client meeting was a multi-million-dollar mansion. 4 stories, ocean views on the Gold Coast, more rooms than I could count. The owner was a successful businessman about to move to the US. And I was a guy who had never managed a single Airbnb in my life. I literally had to excuse myself and poke my head into random rooms just to get a breath and calm my nerves. But I walked out of that meeting with a signed contract for what would have been a $200K per year property. Want to know exactly what I said? I'm going to give you the entire script word for word that I used to sign our first 20 clients in under 6 months. Look, I need to be honest with you, when I started making calls, I was terrified. I used to be an electrician who spent the last few years bouncing between jobs, doing door-to-door sales, driving Uber at night just to pay rent. I had 0 Airbnb experience, 0 properties, 0 credibility, but I had one thing going for me. I'd spent 6 months working for an Airbnb consulting company, having thousands of conversations with hosts all around the world. I knew the language, I knew the problems, I knew what worked and what didn't, and that was enough. Here's what I learned. Property owners don't want a smooth talking salesperson, they want an expert who can solve their problem. And you don't need to have 10 years of experience to be that expert. You just need to know more about this specific thing than they do. Which, if you're watching this video and learning about Airbnb management, you probably already do. Now, I'm about to give you the exact script and the psychology behind every single line. But if you want the full written version, you can copy and paste and adapt. We've put together a bunch of free resources, links in the description, grab it while you watch. The mindset shift you need. Before I give you the script, you need to understand the psychology behind it, because the words don't matter if your frame is wrong. When I walked into that mansion, the one I mentioned before, I was intimidated as hell. This guy had done everything in life. Multi-million-dollar property, successful business, moving to the US to expand his empire. And I'm just me. But here's what I realized in that moment. Frame 1. They called you, not the other way around. These property owners filled out a form. They clicked your ad. They gave you their contact information. They literally asked you to call them. This is not a cold call. You're not interrupting their day. You're not bothering them. You're responding to a request for help. That is a massive psychological difference. So when you do call, don't start with, "Oh, sorry to bother you. I know you're probably busy." No, that frame gives them all the power and makes you seem desperate. Instead, start with, "Hey, John, this is Nathan from BNB. I just had a minute to get back to you about the property assessment you requested. See what I did there? I'm busy. I made time for them. They requested this." That one sentence sets the entire frame for the call. Frame 2, you are the expert even when you're not. Second frame, and this is the one that changed everything for me. When it comes to Airbnb management, you are the expert in the room, not them. Now, they might own the property, they might be successful in business, they might have more money than you. But when it comes to short-term rentals, you know more than they do, period. And here's the thing that people don't talk about. Even if you've never managed a property before, this is still true because you've studied it. You've learned the pricing strategies. You understand guest communication. You know about cleaning coordination, legal requirements, and market analysis. They don't. That's literally why they reached out to you. So you need to show up as the expert. Not arrogant, just confident in what you know. That mansion viewing, the owner had built multiple businesses. He made millions. He was brilliant. But the second we started talking about Airbnb, I was the one with the answers. I had the data. I knew the Gold Coast market. I could tell him what his property would earn, what the peak seasons were, what amenities guests cared about, and he could feel that expertise. That's why he signed with me. Even though I'd never actually managed a property yet, because I positioned myself as the expert from minute 1. Frame 3, you're qualifying them, not the other way around. The third frame, and this removes all of the pressure. You're not trying to convince them to work with you. You're figuring out if their property is a good fit for your business. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You're just gathering information to make that decision. This is huge psychologically, because when you shift from "I need to close this deal" to "I'm seeing if this property qualifies," the entire energy changes. You relax. They sense you're selective. And ironically, that makes them want to work with you more. All right, now I'm going to give you the actual words line by line. But quick reminder, if you want to download the entire script, it's all in the free resources pack, link in the description. Grab it now so you have it ready when you start making calls. The actual script. All right, now let's get into the actual words. I'm going to walk you through this step by step, exactly how the call should flow. And I'm going to tell you why each part works. Opening, first 30 seconds. The opening is critical. You need to establish the frame immediately. Here's exactly what I say. Hey, John, normal tone, slightly even confused, like you're calling a friend but you're not sure if you've called the right number. When they say yes, this is Nathan from BNB. I just had a minute to get back to you about the property assessment you requested. Pause and wait for a response. And normally say yes. I just had a couple questions about the property itself, if you don't mind. That's it. That's the opening. Now let me break down why this works. Hey, John. Casual, light tone. Again, you're almost confused if you've even called the right number. It's not formal. Imagine someone's giving you a friend's number and you're calling to confirm it's actually them. I just had a minute. You're busy, but you made time. This is important. About the property assessment you requested. This reminds them that they asked for this call. It reduces sales resistance. Everyone knows the feeling when some salesperson calls you trying to pitch you something that you don't want. Remind them that they asked for you to call them. I just had a couple questions, if you don't mind. You're asking questions, you're not pitching. You're in control. The qualification questions, getting the address. Now, at this point, they'll usually say, yeah, sure, or of course. Great. Now you can start asking basic questions. But here's the trick. You're not just gathering information, you're establishing yourself as a professional who knows what matters. I'll ask things like, where's the property located? How many bedrooms? Does it have a pool? Does it have a view? These are simple questions, but they serve a purpose. You're getting them comfortable answering your questions. You're leading the conversation. After one or two warm-up questions, I go for what I really need. Okay, great. Do you mind if I just grab the address so I can pull it up on realestate.com, Zillow, whatever your market uses? You pull it up in real time while you're on the call. Here's what I do. I comment on it while I'm looking. Okay, great, so you're pretty close to the beach, nice pool, that'll work great in summer. Oh wow, great view from the top deck. You're just filling in dead space while you're examining the home. But you're also reinforcing that you know what makes a good short-term rental property in their area. You're the expert evaluating their property. The qualifying question, what are they looking to do? Once I've got the address and I've looked at the property, I ask the second key question. So what are you looking to do with this? Are you going away on holiday? Is this currently a long-term rental that you want to use yourself? Are you trying to maximize the income from this property? This question tells you everything you need to know. Are they serious? Do they need your service? Is this worth your time? If they say, we're moving overseas, or it's currently a long-term rental but we want to use it a few times a year, or we want to maximize the income, now you know that they're a potential client. If they say something like, oh, we're going away for a couple of weeks and want to rent it out, you can wrap up the call quite quickly as they don't qualify for your services. Common questions I'll ask and how to answer. Before they agree to meet in person, they'll usually have a few questions. Here are the most common ones and exactly how I answer them. Question 1, what does your service include? We do a full hands-free management service. Most of our clients live interstate or overseas. They use the property a few weeks out of the year and we handle absolutely everything else. Marketing, pricing, guest communication, cleaning coordination, maintenance. You basically get a deposit in your account each month and we handle everything else. Why this works? It paints the picture of the ideal scenario, passive income with no work. Question 2, how much do you charge? Our management fee is 20%. We run off a performance basis, so we're incentivized to maximize your return. When you make money, we make money. Sound fair enough? Why this works? You're confident and you're framing it as aligned incentives. And sound fair enough is just a soft close that gets them agreeing. Question 3, how much can my property make? Great question. I would need to do a full analysis with our revenue management software to give you an accurate number. What I can tell you off the top of my head is that in your area, we're typically seeing short-term rental properties earn about 20 to 40% more than long-term rentals over a 12-month period, but it is seasonal, of course. I can bring a full earnings report when I come to view the property, or I can do one and we can jump on another call later to go through it. What works better for you? Why this works? You're data-driven. You're not just pulling numbers from thin air, and you're moving forward, progressing to the next stage. Question 4, what happens if something goes wrong? We've got systems in place for everything. For properties at higher risk of parties, we can install doorbell cameras, noise monitoring devices, and because I'm the owner-operator of the business, I'm your direct contact. You're not dealing with some corporate call center. If there's an issue, I'm handling it personally. In other words, your property is in good hands. Why this works? You're addressing their fear directly and positioning being small as an advantage, not a disadvantage. Moving to the in-person meeting. Once you've answered all their questions, it's time to close for the meeting. I keep it simple. Okay, great. Sounds like your property has great potential. The next step for me would be to come out, take a look at the setup in person and walk you through exactly how this would work for your specific property. When are you free this week? Notice I didn't ask if they wanted to meet. I assumed we're meeting and just asked when. This is called an assumptive close, and it works because if they were going to say no, they would have already said it. The text follow-up strategy. Here's the reality, a lot of people won't answer your call. They see an unknown number and don't pick up. That's fine. That's what text messages are for. Here's the exact script I'll use when someone doesn't answer. Text message 1. Hi John, Nathan from BNB. Just had a minute to get back to you about the property assessment you requested. Text message number 2, sent immediately after. Do you have a couple minutes to chat today or tomorrow? Just had a couple questions about the home so I can do an assessment for you. Why 2 separate messages? Because if you're walking and you get one text, you might ignore it. If you get a second one immediately after, you're more likely to actually pick up your phone and take a look. I can't tell you how many people call me back within minutes of getting these texts. Last ditch text. After multiple attempts, if it's been a week or 2 and they still haven't gotten back to you, feel free to send this as your last ditch attempt. Hey John, are you still interested in speaking about short-term rental for your home? Nathan, BNB. This is simple, not pushy, and doesn't require any effort from them. You'd be surprised how many people would respond to this, genuinely. The fake it till you make it truth. All right, I want to address the elephant in the room. What if you've never managed a property before? What if you don't have any clients yet? What if you feel like a fraud? I'm going to tell you something that might be controversial. You need to fake it till you make it, but not in the way you think. I'm not telling you to lie. I'm not telling you to say you manage 50 properties when you manage 0. What I am saying is this: position yourself as a professional operator from day one, even if you're not yet. Because here's the truth, every single person who's successful at this started at 0. They all had to get their first client who took a chance on them. And that client took a chance because the operator showed up like a professional. They knew their stuff. They were confident. They were prepared. When I walked into that mansion, my second ever meeting, I didn't say, hey, I've never done this before, but I think I can figure it out. I showed up with data. I had an earnings estimate. I knew the market. I spoke with confidence about how I would handle every aspect of the operation. Did I have the proof I could deliver? No, but I had enough knowledge to be credible, and that was enough. Here's my advice. Meet with everyone, especially in the beginning, even if they're not your ideal client, even if you're not sure if you can help them. Take the call, go to the viewing, have the conversation, because every single one of those interactions is building your confidence. You're learning what questions they ask. You're figuring out what objections come up. You're getting your reps in. And when your ideal client does come along, you'll be ready. You'll be smooth and you'll sign them. That's how you fake it till you make it. You're not lying, you're just practicing until the real opportunity shows up. Conclusion. Look, I know all of this sounds intimidating if you haven't done it before, but I promise you, the first call is the hardest, the first viewing is the hardest, the first client is the hardest. After that, it gets easier every single time. By client 5, you're doing these calls on autopilot. By client 10, property owners are asking you if they qualify to work with you. It just takes that first leap. Now, I've given you the exact script, but if you want to go deeper, if you're serious about building an Airbnb management business, if you want the full step-by-step on how to get clients and build systems and scale to 10, 20, 50 plus properties, we've built the BNB Fastlane mentorship program for exactly that. We give you our complete playbook, the contracts, the SOPs, the lead generation strategies, everything we use to go from 0 to managing over 60 properties in under 2 years. We only take on a limited number of strategy calls each week because we actually want to help people, not just sell. So if you are serious, don't wait on this. Click the link in the description and book your free strategy call. We'll map out your first 90 days and show you exactly how this works for your market. If this was helpful, hit subscribe. I'm breaking down everything we did to build and sell our Airbnb management business in this series. Thanks for watching. Now go and make that first call. You've got this. See you in the next one.